Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Kimberly Barrington, and I'm the CEO and founder of 100 Shades of Diversibility, where we improve the quality of life for persons with diverse abilities legislatively, economically, through community partnerships and education. And I am so excited. And I want to say what January or February, we kicked off a new segment. It's called When Women Step Up. I ran for state representative, 79th district for the state of Michigan. And I met some phenomenal people as I was out on the campaign trail. And I said, you know what? When I get back, I'm going to make it my business to highlight these awesome women who are doing some phenomenal things within their community. They just need to be recognized. And so many times as women, it's just what we do. When we say that, we always say, girl, it's just what we do. It's just what I do. But somebody needs to take the time out and say, I see you. I see you. I see what you're doing. You're making a difference. And I want to take the time to highlight you, tell you thank you for what you do. And today, I am so honored to have my sister in arms. Whoop, whoop. Yep. Come on. Drum roll, please. Wait a minute. We got to get the theme music, though. Wait a minute. We missing something. Here we go. There it is. Y'all remember this song? Yeah. It's all in me. You're on the lady, do it naturally. It's all in me. I can read the thoughts right now. Everyone from A to Z. I can cast a spell. It's you can't tell. Yeah. I love it. Brings back great memories.
Yes.
Of course, we do not own the rights. And I'm believing God that I'm going to meet Chaka Khan and she's going to actually say, girl, use it, do it, love you, and I love you too. Yes. A call. Let's see, Kay. Well, sir, catch me after the show. So, yes, I love that song because we are every woman. She says, I could do everything from A to Z. And we do that. How you doing?
Oh my God. I am doing great. I am very humble, very honored to be sitting here with you. Such a busy lady, so beautiful. The eyelashes, the whole everything. And I just wish you were here, like right here, and I could just hop in my car and drive maybe 5 minutes and I'm right there at your house. But this is cool. I like the way we connect every day. Beautiful text messages from you. I just love you, Dr. Kimberly. I really do.
And I love you. So we need to, last year, we always pay homage to those that come before us or do things that allow us to rise above. And so we want to take time out right now to honor Zanetta Adams, who was our former Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency director. And there's so many things that got done underneath her leadership. And one of the things that happened that has never happened in the state of Michigan is that there was a conference for all female veterans. And we met in Lansing last year in June. And oh my gosh, it brings tears every time I think about it. There were more than 110 women that was in just one space. And I got to meet this beauty. And They was like, who is this chick here? I didn't do nothing but ride around in my purple Bentley, my big wheelchair, you know, toot my own horn.
Sure did.
It was like, who is this? I said, my name is, and I am.
Okay. Okay.
And I just was just in awe of the women and how long it had been since I had been around other female veterans.
Yeah.
Because, everybody thinks that a veteran is a white old man.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. I mean, we show up places. Where's your husband, sweetie?
Right.
I'm like, same place yours is. Oh, you ain't got in? Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
But they do. And so, just changing the face of what a veteran looks like and having that opportunity. And we built some great relationships. We had 48 hours?
Yes.
48 hours. And look what we've done. And we're still together.
Praise God.
Still together.
Yeah.
And which leads me to the reason why I really wanted you to come on, because during this pandemic, I think people really found out who they were, or maybe who they weren't,
Right.
who their friends were, and who maybe their friends weren't, and they were constantly saying, you need to check in. We're doing a wellness check. And having support it means everything.
Yes.
And on some days, it's the difference between life and death. Life and death. Life and death. Between life and death.
Yep.
That if I'd have just made that call,
Mm-hmm.
I'll call later. I'll text later. I'll stop by later. Somebody needs you to do it right now.
Yep.
If they come to your mind and they come to your heart, it's God doing that little tap on your shoulder.
Yes.
Because somebody has just prayed that, Lord, if one person calls me, if one person texts me, if one person stops by, I won't take my life today.
Yep.
I need to know that I matter. I need to know that somebody cares. I just need to know. And so that's why what you do is so important.
Thank you.
So if you could just tell the people what it is that you do every day.
Thank you. Wow. Going back to the conference, she didn't say that it was over 100 women and everybody liked each other. Words cannot explain what we experienced that weekend. Oh my God, the togetherness. It was like a bunch of little girls that just loved each other and loved on one another. And there was no hate, no jealousy. I remember talking to you out in the hotel lobby, and I don't know what I was saying or what was going on, but the emotions were flying. And you just grabbed me and prayed. And we both were just teared up. And, here we are, like you said, still in connection with one another. And there's so many other women that were there. All of this has been a healing process for myself. I suffer from PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. I am 100% disabled veteran because of it. And Honestly, Dr. Kimberly, since the 80s, when I first went into the military, I've always been like a buddy or a peer to veterans. Um, when I go out to the grocery store, um, if I'm at a play, at a park, and a conversation strikes up, and I find out that they are veteran, I'm always giving them resources or different avenues to get to where they're trying to go. And all of these years later, I was referred to the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency, not knowing that Zanetta Adams was the director, but had seen her on many platforms. And I always remember her just staring at me. I had actually belonged to an organization that's owned by a young man named Steron Batchelor in the city of Detroit called Best for Vets. And that young man was trying to get me to come and help do exactly what we do today, um, serving other veterans for a year. And I was so deep in the dark at that time that every month he would send me a text message. And finally, after a year, I got angry and I said, let me go see who this boy is and what he wants. And I went to the meeting, and little did I know that's exactly what I needed. I was in a room with a bunch of veterans, male and female. We were all able to share our stories. We were all able to connect with one another, help each other. And I was off and running. And that was the first time in several years that I was able to actually go outside and be around other people. I felt safe. I felt loved. I knew they understood me and I understood them. And so one day I was, um, my name was given from a guy named Leonard Rusher, who worked for Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency. He referred me and I was interviewed. And next thing I know, I had this little job. I worked for the state of Michigan. I work when I want to work, how I want to work. I make very little money, just enough to pay maybe the light bill and the water bill. And I'm grateful. But I am actually working and doing what I've been doing all my life. And that's reaching out to other veterans, helping them to get the resources that they need to get their benefits, if they're entitled to any disability, um, ID cards, DD 214s, anything that they could possibly need or want. Um, I'm able to give them the resources. See, something that a lot of people don't know is that once you've served your country and you come back out into the civilian world, it's different. And you really have trust issues. And so by us having a buddy to buddy program, peer support, and then having Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency with tons and tons of resources, we are all able to help one another and not feel like we're going to be taken advantage of or used or misled. And that's just one of the beautiful benefits that Michigan Veterans Affairs offer. And so, what do I do on a daily basis? When a veteran calls me, if they need somebody just to talk to, because that's that one phone call away from, pulling that trigger, that's what I do. Um, I've had veterans that call me that can't open up their mail because they're too nervous. And yes, I'll get in my car and go to the home and sit right next to them and we open it up together. I've had veterans that just want to get out the house for a couple of hours. And I'll take them and let them go in Myers and walk around and socialize while I sit in the car. I have veteran spouses calling me. Um, they don't know what to do. Their spouse just died. And I'm able to take them by the hand and walk them through the doors that they need. And so this is something that we do for one another. And I love it. Sometimes I'm kicking and screaming, but I cannot not let them be taken care of. And I also need that help, believe it or not. Um, I don't take advantage of it like I should, but I make my roommate and other close friends like you talk me down, keep me calm, and let me know it's going to be okay. And go ahead and just write that number down on the paper or whatever. Because little simple things like that, for some reason, we just struggle.
Right.
Yep. So that's what I do. And I pick veterans up and take them to the veteran fairs. We always have fairs. I just was just at one a couple of days ago. I represent District 10, which is Wayne County, Oakland County, and Macomb County. So any calls that go to Lansing, to the call center, they trickle down. If it's Wayne, Oakland, or Macomb, they'll first contact me. And then I have a group of volunteers who I can outsource the different veterans to and never have a problem. Immediately, our volunteers jump on it and take care of these veterans. And then a lot of times I'll go ahead and do it if I don't have any veterans that I'm already working with.
I love it. There's a few things that you mentioned I really wanted to dive into. And it's number one, spouses or partners
Yes.
that are with veterans that don't know. And it is such a, you can't even put into words what we've experienced.
Right.
You just can't. And there's definitely not a way. I mean, we sometimes can't even explain it among ourselves.
Right.
And the part that I love is that we can just be in a room and we can communicate without even talking.
Yep.
And we know exactly what's being said, what's being felt, what's being done. And it doesn't exist outside of our military veteran world.
Right.
And so to have someone who can be that translator or the interpreter, you know, people don't know. There's a difference between being a translator and an interpreter.
Amen.
An interpreter will hear what they think that you said and try to communicate it back to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
A translator will translate exactly what you said, what you thought, what you believe, and just it's just your words.
Right.
Nothing added, nothing taken away. And so, as a peer support, especially when it comes to the military and veteran community, it's important that we have translators. So many people want to be an interpreter.
Right.
And that's where we miss it, or I should say the big pharma misses it because they're always trying to interpret, but they never want to translate.
Right.
And so I like to call what you do gap services. And we got to give a shout out to Miss Bailey because she's in your neck of the woods in Detroit.
Okay.
She
Hi.
is. Yes. She's in your neck of the woods, so I love it. And you guys I need to get y'all hooked up together.
Okay, great.
Because there's some wonderful things that she has and some things, for you. And that's why people like Miss Bailey, yourself, myself, we are necessary because we're like frontline workers.
Yes.
And we have the lived experiences, and not just the lived experience, but there comes a time where you have to mature.
Yes.
And what it is that you've experienced, get past the hurt, the anger, the disappointment, the disillusionment, and all right, what have you learned? And now you need to turn around and help somebody else get past this. Make their learning curve shorter. And unfortunately, the big pharma, they just don't have that.
Right.
So that's why they need us, those who have healed from the inside out,
Mm-hmm.
and can turn around and help others.
Yes.
And that's what I love about what it is that you do, because that's what keeps people from committing suicide.
Yes.
Because they dial, I think the new number is 988 or that, whatever they are,
Something like that. Yes.
something like that. I want to give a shout out to Cheryl. Oh my God. I love her family. She's all there we go.
Okay.
Hit the wrong thing. She's all the way in North Carolina. So I want to say thank you so much for tuning in all the way from North Carolina. Thank you, Vertaji. It's 988.
Okay.
We got to get it right. 988. So if you are experiencing, thoughts of suicide, please call them. Please
Mm-hmm.
call, because we need you.
Yes, we do.
You know, you're going to end up being an answer to somebody's prayer.
Yes.
You really are, because you can say, I remember the day. I remember the day. I remember the exact moment.
Yep.
I remember the exact moment. But God,
Mm.
but God, but God.
Yes.
And sometimes people don't understand that when you suffer from depression or anxiety, it's just like someone who has an addiction.
Yes.
You have to constantly stay on top of it. You have to constantly go to counseling. You have to
Yep.
constantly talk. You gotta stay there, because your triggers will come back.
Yes, they do.
And you thought you got over that one. Then here comes this one. I mean, it comes, woo, like a big Mack truck, like that big ice storm we just had. It'll bring you
Exactly.
this ice storm and your lights will be out.
Ooh-wee. Wow, you described it so well.
Just, and
Mm.
I have to be transparent.
Yes.
I had a moment back in October. I said, oh, this is just, and I said, I can't believe that I'm having these ideations. Like, what is going on?
Right.
And what happened for me? Somebody sent a text. I was sitting there. I look at the phone and I said, oh my God,
Mm-hmm.
what am I thinking? Girl, bring it back.
Yes,
What
yes,
is this?
yes, yes.
What is this? I was just like, what just happened here?
Right.
And it's just no different. People can be sober for 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
and it just takes that one incident, and you're like, you lose your sobriety.
Just like that.
Just like
I was, believe it or not, I was sober 15 years, and my world started caving in on me. And it was like, what is going on? I couldn't figure it out. I had no clue. And my doctor at the VA hospital, she told me it's inside your core. And if you don't deal with it, it's going to get worse. And I looked at her like, how do you know? But she was so right. And I started knocking doors down at the VA hospital trying to get help. This was just like 10 years ago. And it wasn't easy, because now you got to try to convince these people that's not military what's going on inside of you. And you can't even articulate it. You just know something's not right. And after rejection in Detroit, I went to Ann Arbor because I was determined to get some help. I did not want to be that lady walking around with a pocketbook full of bills and stuff, with my wig on and my kitchen in the back is showing. Boots, and it's summer. I saw myself. That's who I saw myself about to be. And I knew that's who my doctor was talking about. And girl, through the help of the VA mental health, and then eventually now I'm back in Detroit, and that person who almost caused me to not commit suicide, but I was thinking homicide. Yeah. Today we have a very good relationship because it's about being honest. It's about being transparent. It's about being real. No more faking or playing stuff off for you. I can't do it no more. I've done it all my life. And those are some of the things that broke me down, along with other traumas, like you said. Today, I get it. The puzzle is put together. Now it's about managing it. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm in a very intense program at the VA hospital. It took time to get there, but I'm there. I'm in an all women's group at the vet center. I'm about to start another all women's group at the VA, but it's all related to traumas that happened when I was like 18, 19, and then all of the things I did all those years that I was not aware of. And then all of a sudden, life shows up. My children are grown and gone. I'm not concerned about it. I'm happy. I'm an empty nester. And then it was like, now you got to deal with you.
Yes.
Anybody out there that's going through, trust me, there is help. You're not losing your mind, but if you don't do something about it, you will.
It's now 4:30, and I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. And this is When Women Step Up, an educational arm of 100 Shades of Diversibility, where we improve the quality of life for persons with diverse abilities, legislatively, economically, through community partnerships and education. And this is something that, as Black women, we don't talk about openly.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you something. When the doctor told me I had cancer, I remember getting so sick and ended up in the emergency room. And as a veteran, the VA approves you to go to the emergency room. And when I got out the hospital that Monday, I had to go straight to the VA. My doctor was not in, so she had a stand-in for her. And I remember him saying to me, "What's wrong with you is above what we can do for you at the VA clinic. I'm gonna give you two numbers, but you didn't get them from me." I said, "Okay, we just gonna put it on the counter, and you just gonna pick it up because the VA can't do, referrals like this. It has to go through, but you need something right now."
Yes.
And when I dialed those numbers, the doctor had an appointment for me the next day on Tuesday. They took 9 tubes of blood, and on Thursday, they told me everything that was wrong with me. And at the top of the list was cancer.
Wow.
And when they called me back in that Thursday, and he said, "Let me tell you something." He said, "The way you go, you got a hard road ahead of you." He said, "But I believe that you can do it." And he said, "It's going to take a whole team. There is no magic in this, a doctor, a pill, none of that. It's going to take everything that I'm getting ready to say to you." I said, "Okay." He said, "Number one, do you believe in God?" I said, "Yes, sir, because you're going to need him." I said, "Okay." He said, "Number two, do you believe in you?" I said, "I do." "Well, you're going to need to do that." He said, "Do you have anybody that believes in you?" I said, "I do." He said, "You're going to have to get a team Kim." He said, "Because on this next road, it's going to be so many times when you're going to want to give up.
Okay.
And you're not going to have it to do. You need somebody that's going to have it to do for you when you can't." And I said, "Whoa." And he said, "And you got to do things as prescribed. You can't miss the steps." And he said, "That's where a lot of people miss out, is because, okay, today is a good day, so I don't need to do all that stuff." You got to follow it all the way to the end. If it says 10 days, 10 weeks, 10 years, you got to keep doing it
Okay.
the way it's been prescribed. And I said, wow. And he said, and I'm on your side. And he said, but we got to do this together.
Okay.
And I got to know that you're going to take just as vested interest in you being better as I am. Because there's really no magic pill. There's just not. He said, there's a process that you have to go through. He says, and I believe in miracles. And he goes, but you have to understand. He said, I believe that God can and God may. He goes, but sometimes God gives us a progressive, healing, a progressive miracle. And I was just like,
I know. Yes.
God sent who I needed.
Woo.
They don't talk like that in a doctor's office. They don't talk to you like that.
Nope.
So I'm grateful, and I'm still here because of it.
Yes.
And that's how we stay connected, because I realized that I have to be on somebody else's team. There were people that were on my team. I got to go be on somebody else's team.
Yes. That's awesome.
So we have to make sure that we reach out and we get on each other's team, and we lift each other up. And I'm just so grateful that we're showing this is how we win as women.
Yes.
And we really have to stop rehearsing that negative mantra of, well, we don't sit together. What we don't do. How about we talk about what we do? That's me.
Yes.
That's me.
Yeah.
I had someone say to me a couple of weeks that everybody has flaws, and they felt that it was their responsibility to point out those flaws. I said, well, that's not how I roll.
Right. Oh my.
That's not how I roll. Because I believe God. I believe the Bible from Genesis to Revelation.
There you go.
And there was a point where Noah was a drunkard.
Yes, he was.
He had 3 sons and 3 daughters. And he had 2 sons. And this really sticks out. When I first read this, I said, Lord, that's going to be me. That after God had brought them through, they was on dry land, living life. Noah got drunk. And he had took off his clothes. I was like, Jesus, what is this man doing? And the one son went to make fun of him and was like, ain't nobody, calling him a drunkard and just making fun of him. His other 2 sons respected him.
Yeah.
Because regardless of the state that he was in, he was still chosen by God.
Yes.
And he was still a man of God. He still had a purpose, a mission, and God still loved him. And so they turned their backs to him.
They covered him.
And they covered him.
Yes. Oh, Jesus, stop.
They covered him.
Yes, they did.
They exposed him. They didn't go running their mouth about him.
Nope.
They covered him until he could get himself together, because he was still a man of God.
Yes, he was.
He was still who he was in God. And we have to remember that.
Yes.
That even in our peer-to-peer, in our mentoring, in our buddying, that everybody's got a call. Everybody has to do something. They may not be there yet. But our responsibility is to keep them covered.
Yes.
Until they can be better.
Yes.
Not expose them, not taunt them, not run our mouth about them. That, girl, I know so-and-so. Let me tell you. I want to hear the good part. We're really good at telling what she did do yesterday.
See?
But if I'm not mistaken, I got 2 tree phones here. We got a couple of phones, an iPad. I'm on what I like to call it my Big Mac.
Okay.
And they have this thing where it'll say it needs to update.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to update.
Yes.
And it don't function properly when you don't update it.
Amen.
And so we need to remember that before we put our mouths on somebody. You know, they may have gotten a new install, a new update
See?
since the last time you saw them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
they might be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how about you go plug yourself into a good
See?
power source and
Yes.
update yourself.
You know,
Yeah.
just like a car, it can't run on fumes, right?
Mm-mm.
And so if I don't get a checkup and that update, then how can I be of service to you or anybody else?
Right.
Sometimes I don't think I'm going to get it, but he always gives it to me. And every time I think I want to shut it down and just empty my calendar, I can't because he hasn't told me that yet. So I get it.
Somebody will send you a text saying, "Could you please?
Oh,
Could you come be with me?"
yeah. Like today you asked me when I first came on, you said you seem a little, and
Terse.
how can she know that? But that's just how the chemistry works with us. And I was like, yeah, I've been busy. It's all dog related, but this dog is going to be that service dog that's going to help me do things that I'm still in fear of today that I used to didn't be. And I know I'm not claiming it. It is what it is. And I'm doing everything in my power to make it better. I am that recovering drug addict, alcoholic. I'm very involved. I am that lady of God that be excited running on Sunday to get there on time. You know what I mean? And I remember when is this going to be over? And, now I just love the stories and I feel a part of because I actually know what when they talking about the Bible. Um, and I love when people are there because there's so few of us, but he already said it was written. So, there are no surprises, right?
Right.
And then, you have people in your ear like, why don't you get some rest? Why don't you stop? Why don't you? Why don't you? And I know you go through the same thing, but God hasn't told me to. I know today is what I do for others
Yes.
and what we do for each other is what's keeping me
Yes.
where I am today.
Yes.
I need all of it.
Yes.
So yeah, when them veterans call, yes, I'm gonna go running. I was in the rain all day the other day, and I was 2 hours late getting to the event because I was taking care of a veteran. I don't know, but I'm just so grateful that you exist. Um, all of the programs that exist today that didn't 30 years ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And then one last thing. I was thinking just 2 days ago, wow, I remember over 30 years ago coming out of the military for the first time, and they had organizations set up for veterans. And I would go, and everybody seemed old and wrinkled.
Oh my God.
And
Yes.
I just didn't understand. And I'm like, what is this? What are they supposed to be doing for us? And it just nothing made sense.
At all.
Nothing. And then I get a little bit older and I'm like, okay, this is a bunch of politics. I don't want to be involved. And here we are today. And this is how it really is supposed to be and should have been. And it all makes sense. And look at us. We are those people now that 30 years ago, like my daughter, who's a veteran, 27 years old, she's looking at us now. And we are able to feed them and feed them good information. And they are able to get benefits now that
Yes.
it took us over 25, 30 years to get.
Yes.
It's been a struggle, but we here. And we still can smile. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
I love it.
Whew. It's amazing, isn't it?
It is. I think that's the piece that just blows my mind. I had a young lady on the show about a year ago, and PTSD. And when I found out that she was given counseling and they had everything set up, and she already was awarded her percentage as she was exiting, I said, oh my God,
Yes.
it was good for me to have been afflicted.
See?
Oh my God. And
Yes.
I know people think that's crazy, but I'm telling you, when you are in God, there is nothing
See?
that is wasted.
Right.
He needs an example because from Genesis to Revelation, we have all of these examples. We
Mm-hmm.
can find ourselves in there, in
Yep.
somebody, somewhere.
That's right.
And so, people will say that's old time, but guess what? God is still doing it.
It's the same.
There has to be somebody who's had the experience, has gotten over on the other side to
Yes.
change the system.
The system. Yes.
So we are systemic, change agents that we stayed the course. It was rough. We cried.
Yep.
Ooh, some days we wanted to shoot them.
Yep.
Sometimes we wanted to shoot ourselves.
Yep.
We didn't know what to do.
All of that.
Yeah. And then we wanted to shoot anybody else that was looking at us. What?
Yep.
What you thinking?
Yes. Yes.
And
Oh.
what to be in 2023
Yes, ma'am.
on the other side, standing
Yeah.
on the mountaintop,
There you go.
pulling others up,
Yes.
bringing them up, and we're doing our kumbaya moment,
Say that. Yes.
and we're helping one another.
Woo.
Not just what you see on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do this all day, every day,
All day. Yes.
She'll tell you. She's like, what is this?
How?
This lady do she ever go to sleep?
It's amazing. And for you to have time to think of people like me, it's like, it just blows my mind. Like, wow, look at her. She sent me this, like, it's amazing. And I want to say something real fast. My 27-year-old daughter that served in the Navy.
Navy.
Yes. I figured you would say that. 50% PTSD already.
Yes.
I should have had it way back then. I'm almost 60 and just got it a couple of years ago. That's amazing, isn't it? Because she has mentors like you and me, her dad, that really poured into her. And it could be 100. It's just it's her call. No pressure. She young, but it's gonna happen. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, we and her dad be on her about it too. She gonna get there.
So don't lose heart. Trust. Don't lose heart.
No.
I've been working. I worked on mine. I got 13 years, and I did it myself.
Me too.
I did it myself. And
me too.
I said, look at God.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I thought it was a mistake. I said, huh?
Girl, the phone is like, because you set your phone up so that when you get deposits,
right.
It just all night long I said, cha-ching, 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 cha-ching.
Oh my God.
I said, wait a minute, what?
That was it.
What? So the way it works is that I had got a word, and I'm gonna end with this.
Okay.
So I want to say thank you so much.
Thank you
for coming. I've really enjoyed our time together.
Yes.
I really, really did.
Me too.
And I'll have Rachel's information out there. So if you are in the Detroit area,
yes,
and you need some assistance, you're a veteran, or you're the partner, a spouse, a friend, a baby mama of a veteran, please reach out to her. Please, 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 please. And I love you. I am so glad for the leadership of Zanetta Adams Esquire,
Yes.
and that we even had the opportunity to meet almost a year ago,
Yes.
and that we're still going strong.
It's amazing.
And if you do need some help, please dial 988. That number is good throughout the whole United States,
Yes.
no matter where you are, and you will get the help that you need. But know that we're always here. You can reach out to us,
Yep.
and we'll make sure you get what you need.
Yep.
And don't lose heart.
Please don't.
Don't lose heart. I know it may seem rough, and I know it may seem dark,
Yes.
but just know that there is life after this. It's only for a moment. Okay, I will send her your information. Thank you so much for staying with us the whole show, Rachael, and thank you so much for providing us with that number. And all of those who have watched us around the United States, we are in all of the United States and in 10 countries. And so I'm grateful for every one of you. Don't lose heart. Don't lose heart. My first discharge was in 1992, and then again in 1994. And so from 1994 up until 2005, I started in 2005 the process
Yes.
of getting my benefits and still hadn't gotten them. I did not get my benefits until 2017. Now I had my basic, benefits,
Right.
but I never got paid for PTSD until 2017. And when I tell you, they did 13 years. And so the cha-ching was, they did each year at a time. So the first chain was for the first year, 12, 13, 14, they kept going. And it was good for me to have been afflicted.
Yeah.
It was good. Because now, stay in the course.
Yes.
Go in the process.
Yes.
Answering the questions.
Yes.
They were able to take my case and say, you know what? What did we do right? What did we do wrong?
Right.
Okay, now what we can do better. And them asking me the questions and saying, okay, now we're going to implement something new. So there was a systemic change that happened because I did it without a service officer.
Me too.
And so they sat down and they talked to me. So I appreciate what the VA did.
Yes.
And I appreciate because I could sit and lament forever about what went wrong.
Right.
But I have to look at what went right.
Amen.
And that once the mistake was caught, that we've moved forward and we have this symbiotic relationship and able to help others. And so please don't get stuck. Just know that we're going to come back. I come get you.
We will.
We will come get you.
We've already done that for y'all.
We will come get you.
We've done it all.
All of it.
Yeah.
So it's just to access it. And I don't care if it was 90 days. Yeah. You are still
entitled.
And you are a veteran.
Yes.
You are a veteran.
Yes.
You are. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you on next week. Hopefully they will have done some work on my vocal cords.
Okay.
But we are so grateful, and I will not allow this to stop me from doing what I've been called to do.
That's right.
So thank you for muddling through all this voice, the cough, but it's going to get better because this is, we built to last. We like Peter built. We built to last.
Yes.
Thank you. I love you.
Love you too.
Wait a minute. We got to jam on out, right? Here we go.
Okay.
Special groove with fire inside of you. Anytime you feel danger or fear, instantly I will be. It's all in me. Anything you want done, baby.
love you.
And when it comes down to some good old fashioned love, that's what I got. Baby, it's all in me. Anything you want done, baby, do it naturally.